Motivated every day. Happy Thorough Thursday, champions. I know how to push. I had built an entire professional identity around it. But for a long time, I did not know how to stop, champions. Not just stop working. I'm talking about stopping activating. I would sit down to rest and my nervous system, well, it would still be running. I would meditate and my mind would be producing the next day's plan, champion. I would go for a walk, chill with my kids, and my body would be physically moving through the space while my cognition was still at the desk at work, thinking about the next day's strategies. So the concept of genuine relaxation felt kind of foreign, not undesirable, just rather inaccessible, like a radio frequency that you can't quite tune to. So what I eventually learned, though, is that the inability to access calm upon demand is not a personality trait or a discipline problem necessarily. It is a GABA deficiency pattern, champions. And GABA deficiency patterns respond to GABA supporting interventions. It's that excitability, that reactivity that comes with life's incredible variation of actions and what may come your way. And so with GABA-aminobutyric acid, it's the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, champions. And so its function is to actually reduce neuronal excitability, to apply the brakes, to pump the brakes to the accelerated neural activity that actually sustained cortisol will produce, champion. And when the GABAergic system is functioning properly, well, you can shift from high activation work states to rest states within minutes. The GABAergic tone is actually reduced, which happens progressively under chronic cortisol exposure, because cortisol pumping constantly actively downgrades and downregulates the GABA-A receptor sensitivity over time. So you become more easily excitable, inaccessible to the rest state quickly. And so the mind and nervous system stay accelerated when the context no longer requires for you to still be in an excited, accelerated state. And you are physiologically stuck on that position. And this, champions, is not just a metaphor. It is a measurable neurobiological state, champions. And research has documented that individuals with chronic HPA dysregulation will show significantly reduced GABA concentrations when testing occurs in the prefrontal cortex especially, and the anterior cingulate cortex. These are the very regions of your brain that are responsible for cognitive control and emotional regulation, champion. The exhaustion and the inability to rest are not contradictory. They are actually simultaneous symptoms of a single biological state. A cortisol-suppressed GABAergic system is what we are actually dealing with. So this Thursday, we are addressing the GABA gateway, the neurobiological mechanism through which genuine parasympathetic rest becomes accessible upon demand. Not meditation as a discipline, that's something a little different. Not willpower that's directed at relaxation. The actual biological substrate of rest supported at the molecular level, champions. So here we are in week number 9 of the cortisol blends, the motivated everyday GABA gateway blend. With lemon balm, we're going to use 600 milligrams of standardized extract, 5% rosmarinic acid, and we're going to combine that with L-theanine of 200 milligrams at a pharmaceutical grade, champions. Not the cheap knockoff stuff, actual pharmaceutical grade, so that we get purity and effect. Lemon balm's rosmarinic acid actually inhibits the enzyme GABA transaminase, and that is the enzyme that is responsible for breaking down GABA in its synapses, effectively actually increasing the synaptic GABA availability. And so the L-theanine, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and directly interacts and increases GABA, dopamine, and alpha brain wave activity, which is what produces that alert, calm state that's associated with meditation without inducing sedation, so you don't get tired and want to just fatigue out. Together, the lemon balm increases the GABA availability by reducing its breakdown, while simultaneously the L-theanine increases GABA production and the GABA receptor sensitivity. So the GABAergic system is that braking system now restored from both directions simultaneously. And L-theanine's unique mechanism, it comes into play, producing what researchers describe as calm alertness or the alert relaxation state. It's documented actually through EEG studies that show significant increases in alpha brain wave activity. And so those alpha waves, they're associated with the relaxed, but I'm aware of everything that's going around me state, a calm state of awareness. And the parasympathetic dominance that allows a nervous system to genuinely compress will kick in so that your mental frequency of creative insight is now recharging and recovering. This is the state that meditation trains you to access intentionally. This is where you get these incredible insights. L-theanine actually supports the underlying neurobiology that makes that state physiologically actually available and possible to you to switch into, whether or not meditation practice is present. So you do not have to be someone who has perfected meditation, though meditation is excellent and actually necessary. Thursday's technique is this: the motivated everyday GABA activation practice. So, 4 times today, champion, at breakfast, at lunch, mid-afternoon, and before dinner. I want you to take 30 seconds, just 30 seconds, to deliberately slow your breathing. 4 counts in, hold 4, and then 6 counts out. The extended exhale activates the vagal brake, the primary parasympathetic nervous system mechanism which directly supports GABA release in the prefrontal cortex. Think cognition improvement. This is not breathing as mindfulness practice, champions. Again, that's something a little different. This is breathing as a GABA activation protocol. Paired with the blend, it targets the GABAergic restoration from both behavioral and biological directions simultaneously. Now, your physician can jump into the play and request a specialty lab urine organic acid panel that includes GABA and glutamate metabolite measurements. And when you measure those metabolites, it'll give you the actual neurochemical data that confirms whether you show reduced GABA, or if you have metabolites that are GABA-oriented alongside elevated glutamate. That's the picture of a sympathetic dominated nervous system, champions. The dysregulation is then confirmed in your own biology by the data that's been supplied by the testing. Now, lemon balm and L-theanine combined address this picture directly, and we can track the markers at 60 days. So real talk, champions. Just one more thing. The inability to access genuine rest is not a productivity feature, champions. It is a performance liability. The person who can shift fully into recovery mode and then back into performance mode cleanly, completely, and on demand is more productive over any sustained period than the person who never leaves performance mode. You see, recovery is not the opposite of performance, champions. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Recovery is not the opposite of performance, champion. It is the prerequisite for it at the highest levels of performance. So stay focused, stay in a place where you are actually taking advantage of your biological system's ability to provide you with the high performance power and cognition and focus and insight that you need to achieve your dreams, your visions, your goals, and make your everyday moves. Alignment is the key. Motivation is the motion. The premium lifestyle is the result. Stay motivated every day.